Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. Aloha Friday. I am pre-recording this earlier so that hopefully I can catch the Dave the Film Junkies vodka stream tonight. But in any case, it's been a slower day in news today, but there has been some CW type updates for you. So let's get on with the headlines. The first topic of the day is Batwoman spotted on Titans set. What? Isn't that just two different things? One's on HBO Max and one's on CW. What is going on? Well, this is coming from the Vulcan reporter, Omre, and he's had this to say about this. Batwoman actress Javicia Leslie was recently spotted on the set of HBO Max's Titans series. As you may already know, God Friended Me actress Javicia Leslie is set to play Ryan Wilder in the second season of CW's Batwoman. Leslie's Ryan Wilder will be taking over the mantle of Batwoman after actress Ruby Rose, who played Kate Kane and the previous Batwoman, exited the series last May. However, Leslie has been spotted on the set of Titans Season 3 wearing her Batwoman costume. This could imply that a crossover is in the works between Titans and Batwoman, although I have to note that this does not necessarily have to be the case. It is, for example, very likely that Leslie's Batwoman is present on the set of Titans to film promotional material for the upcoming second season of Batwoman. This would make sense, as Titans Season 3 is said to mostly take place in the fictional city of Gotham, a location which Titans shares with CW's Batwoman. Nevertheless, the possibility of a crossover between these two superhero series is exciting, with both shows sharing multiple characters related to the Batman family of DC characters. And if you didn't know already, this is pretty much who Ryan Wilder is. Ryan Wilder is described as a likable, messy, a little goofy, and untamed. She's also nothing like Kate Kane, the woman who wore the Batsuit before her. With no one in her life to keep her on track, Ryan spent years as a drug runner, dodging the GCPD and masking her pain with bad habits. Today, Ryan lives in her van with her plant, a girl who would steal milk for an alley cat and could also kill you with her bare hands. Ryan is the most dangerous type of fighter, highly skilled and wildly undisciplined, and out lesbian, athletic, raw, passionate, fallible, and very much not your stereotypical all-American hero. So, and of course, the synopsis, as you know, 3 years after billionaire philanthropist Bruce Wayne and his vigilante alter ego Batman disappeared, his cousin Kate Kane sets out to overcome her demons and become a symbol of hope by protecting the streets of Gotham City as Batwoman. Following the season 1 finale, however, friends and family hold on to the hope that Kate may still be around. She's not. Meanwhile, a homeless 25-year-old named Ryan Wilder stumbles upon Kate's Batsuit. I guess there's a lot of questions involved in that, and hopefully, and of course, it'll be answered in Batwoman Season 2. So Batwoman Season 2 comes out later this month. Actually, it's set to premiere January 17th, if you are interested. But yeah, like I said, I think that could be pretty cool to actually have them kind of come together in a way, or he stumbles upon Batwoman while he's in Gotham and so on and so forth. It kind of just brings it together, saying that this is the same Earth, same universe. However, I don't think they needed to do that, because I think what we're trying to understand is that the multiverse does exist. There is multiple universes, and I think even at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, they do show that it's a different Earth. So what's up with that? I don't know. But yeah, and like he said, it could just be a promotional thing, and that would be something like along the lines of I'm pretty sure they had a lot of crossover things before, but maybe along the lines of like Supergirl wearing Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman's boots and for one commercial or something like that. So but that is hopefully it actually turns out to be some kind of cool crossover, because that would be kind of cool seeing these people go in and out of different universes. How? I have no idea. Without a Flash, I know it's kind of hard. I'm sure there's other ways as well, but not currently within the realms of the characters here. I don't think so, unless we're talking about Raven. Maybe she can do something. But anyway, let's get on with another CW show that is getting a lot of talk right now. And it's something that CW passed on. Apparently, CW has passed on ordering Arrow spinoff Green Arrow and the Canaries to series. This is coming directly from the Hollywood Reporter. It is a true end of an era at the CW. The network has passed on ordering Arrow spinoff Green Arrow and the Canaries to series. The drama, which aired as a backdoor pilot during the flagship's final season last year, followed the women of Arrow, Catherine McNamara's Mia Smoke, Green Arrow, and the Canaries, Kate Cassidy's Laurel Lance, and Juliana Harkavy's Dinah Drake. The news comes nearly a year after Arrow wrapped its 8th season run on the CW. The Stephen Amell star helped launch the DC Comics era at Mark Pedowitz's younger skewing broadcast network. With Arrow from exec producers Greg Berlanti and Mark Guggenheim, the series launched the so-called Arrowverse that consists of The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Supergirl, Batwoman, the forthcoming Superman, and Lois. With the decision to pass on a series order for Green Arrow and the Canaries, the CW is looking to new development for what remains of the DC verse. The network is teaming with Ava DuVernay for a new DC Comics drama that could be connected to existing properties. Super producer Berlanti is also readying Painkiller, a spin-off of Black Lightning. The latter drama is ending its run this year with its 4th and final season. Of course, Supergirl will also conclude its run this season after 6 seasons. Arrow showrunner Beth Schwartz and Guggenheim penned the script for Green Arrow and the Canaries, and since then, Beth Schwartz has since moved on to a Netflix show from DC Comics, and Guggenheim is also doing an LA Law sequel for NBC. So that's pretty much it. But though Mark Guggenheim did come on Twitter later on explaining that, look, this is nothing new. They've already passed on it, prior to the pandemic, and that was a decision. Partly, and that's what they're claiming is the decision back then, and now they're just revealing it officially now. So sad news for people who love the Arrow series and definitely want to see a spin-off of that series in terms of the Green Arrow and the Canaries. But I gotta say, this is there's a lot of series and there's a lot of things going on. This is definitely an end of an era since Arrow pretty much launched the whole thing. Although I would still argue that in a way, Smallville kind of started really the whole thing. But yeah, okay. But in terms of this universe, the Arrowverse, yes, Arrow. That's why they call it the Arrowverse. Arrow did start it all off, so it's sad to see that particular saga ending, and I'm sure the Flash will be ending soon. Supergirl is already ending, and so it's just a sad time. But it could be a great time indeed for what could possibly be a future in the DCEU, right? Black Canary and Green Arrow maybe coming to the DCEU. This is just speculation. Don't take this as fact, but DC Verso put this out, and other people talked about it as well, including Thomas Polito, Amra, Daniel, and all these different scoopers saying that when this usually happens, it means that it could possibly give birth to those same characters over somewhere else, right? Because they want to be able to utilize that brand. So perhaps Green Arrow and the Canary series, it may not have been improved, but they could have plans for, the Black Canary HBO series that there was talk about. Don't mind, that's my son in the background. But the Black Canary HBO series with, Journey Smollett. And I think that would be pretty awesome to actually see her rise up over on HBO Max. So that would be kind of cool. Also, the fact that we've talked about this yesterday, and someone asked me a question on who would I want to see as a film, which DC character I would like to see as a movie. And I'd say, yeah, Green Arrow. Green Arrow would definitely be awesome in a movie, especially that Supermax script that, David Goyer had done back in the day, where he was trapped in that Supermax prison, and it was going to be Arkham style. It was him versus all his rogue gallery in that prison. that would have been killer. And I think they could still do that. I don't see why not. Why not take inspiration from things like Dread, the Arkham games, things like that, and make it your own, or even Raid? That would be pretty awesome to see a Green Arrow tackle. But regardless, I also think it's interesting that we had to have that happen, right? Because this is the multiverse. I think there should be reason enough, just like how they're making multiple Batmans at the same time, multiple Flashes at the same time. Although you can argue that the Flash movie comes out possibly after maybe the final season of Flash. You don't know yet, but you can argue that, of course. But definitely, I didn't think they needed to cancel anything in order for these characters to live on another, area, because of the whole multiverse idea. Like, isn't that a step backwards that you would need to not have these characters dominate one medium and not have it live on in another medium at the same time? I thought we went through this and that we weren't going to do it again. But the good news is, if they are doing that, then that means there is more evidence that they are looking to have the Canary, or Black Canary in this instance, Journey Smollett, over on HBO Max or in some movie fashion, within the DCEU. And especially, probably one of my characters that I really truly want to see in the DCEU, Green Arrow, Oliver Queen on the DCEU. That would be pretty cool. I think that would be pretty exciting to see that finally happen, whether it's Charlie Hunnam or whoever can put on that green mask and that mantle to be the Green Arrow for the DC Extended Universe. That would be pretty cool. All right, but Curran Walters teasing the Batman. What is going on here? Curran Walters, who plays, as you know, he's also, he's going to be Red Hood in Titans. He plays Jason Todd Robin on Titans right now. He recently just put this out with the eyes, like, shocking look, and I'm like, what is going on here? Now, this could just be maybe a possible just cameo. There are several reasons. There's no context here whatsoever other than he puts the Batman up there. It's either he's going to be in the Batman as a certain character, as the Titans character, maybe for marketing, just like how Batwoman is going to be on the Titans set. Maybe they're going to do a whole thing about Gotham and showing a promotion with possibly Robert Pattinson's Batman, Batwoman, and Titans, maybe as a marketing push for Gotham or the Batman universes. That could be a possibility. Or he's just really excited for the Batman. So I don't know what's going on, but definitely it's not every day you see a lot of marketing for the new Titans. I don't know why. They should, at this point, they really should have had a little bit more about Titans. We've seen Red Hood. We've seen Stargirl. Not Stargirl. We've seen Starfire. We've seen Red Hood, the official look of Red Hood, Nightwing. We've seen Starfire. I want to see the rest of the team as well. But every little thing kind of gets me wondering about the next season. Are we really going to get Joker like they said that we were? And how is this like part of it in any way? So it gets me really curious today. Now, let's go into the movies now, because we were talking about the DCEU a little bit. Not the Batman, but the Flash. Apparently, the Flash director started following Grant Gustin and Tom Cavanagh. Yeah, this is from DC Brazil. Will Grant Gustin be in the Flash movie? Director Andy Muschietti started following both people on his Instagram. Would an appearance of the actors in the Flash film be possible? And this kind of just gave it away to me that in order to really put the idea of multiverse in mind, yes, you can have multiple Batmans, you can have multiple Supermans, but the one thing that they could definitely do straight out of the gate would have another Flash. They would go to exactly to that scene, maybe better shot and more professional shoot of Ezra Miller meeting Grant Gustin's Flash in the same room, right? Although he does say Victor, and we're still unclear about the cyborg situation, but there's still some possibilities of that. But Andy Muschietti started following these two, which is cool, and I think that's just to me. It shows that he is going to, in a way, utilize the characters that you've already seen over in the Flash universe. Now, I don't know which, Harrison Wells is Tom Cavanagh going to play. There's so many Harrison Wells, a lot of Harrison Wells. Or is he going to be Eobard Thawne? And if he is going to be Eobard Thawne, does that mean there is definitely going to be a reverse Flash story here? Is his Eobard Thawne going to be the evil Eobard Thawne for the Flash universe? Because he's been going in and out. He's got, he's still a pretty big deal, right? So I don't know what that would mean, but definitely, is it going to? I'm really wondering if this is going to be more than just a cameo in their efforts to really secure that this is an actual big multiverse, and maybe it would kind of make sense that maybe an Eobard Thawne from the CW's Flash universe, if they can't find their own DCEU or give birth to their own DCEU, have that reverse Flash kind of be the villain for that, his own little, Ezra Miller's own crisis, maybe. I don't know if that will work out, but I think a lot of fans of the CW show would be pretty stoked, pretty happy to see that possibly these two will have a bigger role, possibly in the Flash movie. And then maybe that's why after the next season, we will maybe learn more, possibly through the new season of Flash, about a possible mix or crossover with Ezra Miller's Flash. I think that would be really interesting, in a way, to get all sorts of, the DCU fans and CW DC fans together. Like, that's what Jim Lee wants to do, and I think that's what they're trying to strive for. All right, so the next of the DC movies, there one movie that just came out. We're waiting for Zack Snyder's Justice League, absolutely, but Wonder Woman 1984, right? That came out on HBO Max, successful launch, actually brought a lot of theaters back to life, and the stock's up and everything. And at one point, and I stress not to really care about the Rotten Tomatoes score, but there is a point to this story. Wonder Woman 1984 Rotten Tomato score drops, right? When it first came out, it was like 81% fresh. Now it's down to 59% and is considered a rotten score. What does this have to do with anything? Absolutely nothing. Like, not many people talked about this. Not many people made a deal about it. It hasn't affected people from watching this in the first place. And because it came out on HBO Max, right? People just were able to watch it. They kind of bypassed the score in a lot of ways because they were able to watch it, so they did. Whether they stayed subscribed, I don't know. But for the most part, a lot of people did stay subscribed after watching, even though they were maybe disappointed with Wonder Woman 1984. But what does that mean? Well, that means that because of this HBO Max theatrical strategy, with the onset that you can just go to HBO Max and you just watch it for yourself, and then you can garner your own opinions without having to go through some kind of Yelp review of movies to give you that opinion. They were able to kind of curb that. Yes, it did come out beforehand. It was a fresh score and people got curious, but I think this talk right now, that even though it's a rotten score, not many people are paying attention to it because they've gotten to watch it on their own. This could spell good for all other movies that are coming on HBO Max, like Zack Snyder's Justice League. How the critics were like kind of review bombing it and things like that, and not intentionally, but they just didn't like the movie, and so people would look at that and wouldn't even give it a chance. But now it's coming on HBO Max, and people who are subscribed to the HBO Max, they can go and check it out. They don't have to wait for a review to see whether or not they should spend their money on that or spend or take their time to go to the theater for that, they could just literally click on the screen and watch it right there, and they wouldn't even look at that score for most of the time now, because it's a streaming movie. Like, when's the last time you looked at the Rotten Tomatoes score before you clicked on something that was on Netflix, right? Once it's dropped, you just went and watched it, Only people like me and for my own colleagues and everybody else would be like looking at the score because we have to report on it. But for the most part, the general audience, if they're subscribed to something, it's just going to pop up on their service and they're just going to hit play. They're just going to hit play and they're like, oh, okay, what's this about? Without even there. So I would say that Rotten Tomatoes, even though it's a aggregate, it just compiles all these critical scores, 377 counts here, and it came up with that number. A lot of people don't read the numbers on a bomb. They just look at this and they already decided. So I don't like Rotten Tomatoes, and I think the less influence that Rotten Tomatoes is going to have an effect on future movies if it's released in this HBO Max strategy right here. And so it would give the movies a chance to be watched and compared and fared with without having this kind of just block a person from giving their own opinion and their own take on that matter. So I think this is it sucks that his score drops, but I think this means that a lot of people haven't saw that, are not paying attention to that anymore. And, I think this is going to be the future for movies if it still comes out in this type of fashion on HBO Max and theaters as well, or even Disney, all these other ones as well. So, I don't even know the score for what's the other Disney movie that came out, the Pixar one. So I don't even know what the score is for that, and I don't care. If I have Disney Plus, I could just click on it and I can watch it, and then I can see it for myself. So that's awesome, I believe. All right. Now, as we end off today, I just want to give a little update on the Ray Fisher situation. Apparently, Ray Fisher responded to the Variety writer, Adam Very, today about the Geoff Johns article. This is what he had to say. When Adam Very pulled out the article yesterday that I kind of talked about, he said that despite Ray Fisher's claim that Geoff Johns is leaving Warner Media in the wake of the Justice League investigation, 3 sources tell me Johns remains very much in business with the company. So I talked about that yesterday. So check out that video if you haven't yet, and my thoughts on that. But Ray Fisher did retweeted him and said, "Sir, you understand full well the difference between will be following suit and has followed suit. While I found the recent Leonard Roberts piece you helped create to be insightful and important, this purposely misleading Variety headline and article is everything but accountability over entertainment." And I don't know what that Leonard Roberts piece is. I'm guessing it's something that Adam looked into, and so on and so forth. I'm not sure. But yeah, so like I said, it says will be following suit, meaning that Geoff Johns, yes, he is working. He has current projects that are credited with DC projects and stuff, and his name is on there, and that's easy. You can pretty much look that up on IMDb. Of course, it's already credited, but for future projects, possibly that he may not be credited because he'll no longer be working with Warner Media on future projects that have not been already out, like Stargirl, all that. So Green Lantern, there wasn't an article that he was credited, but they don't mention anything past that. So, but Adam Very had something else to say. He said, "Mr. Fisher, I've made 5 requests through your managers to speak with you since July. I hope they've told you. I'd love to speak to you, and I hope that after Leonard Roberts' story, you might feel you can trust me. I never want to be misleading. Please DM me to discuss if you'd like." So I don't know what's happening with that. I don't know if they DM'd each other. Nothing publicly was forthcoming after this request from Adam Very. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what they find out, and we'll see if Variety has anything to add to the article or update that article in any case. So that's all we can do is wait and see. All right, well, that is it for all the headlines today. Let's get on to the Ping Pong Flix members' comments and questions. Like I said, if you want to comment or if you want me to read your comment or question on the show, please join as a member down below and then add your comment and question. And on the next show, I will definitely read it out loud and answer them too. So let's go to the first comment here. Pero, what's going on? I'm on one side, they're trying to bury Zack, and on the other side, TNT Drama tweets Zack Snyder is great. Can someone explain this craziness, please? Yeah. So, I think the only two people, or 3 or 4 people, that want to try to bury the Snyder Cut is we talked about them. So, like Toby Emmerich, Walter Hamada, not fans. Geoff Johns, John Berg, not fans. Joss Whedon, not fans. Because they were responsible, partly responsible. I think Toby Emmerich was the last one to be responsible. The other 3 are more responsible, but they didn't do anything about it. Walter Hamada didn't do anything about it after knowing about it. So I guess you can call that enabling. And so those guys didn't want the Snyder Cut. If Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich wanted the Snyder Cut to come out, it would have came out 2 years ago. Or what is it, 2021? It's 3 years ago. It would have came out 3 years ago if they were, because they came on board. They were on board this whole time. They heard us this whole time. The only reason why we're getting Zack Snyder's Justice League is because AT&T and Warner Media, the higher ups, saw something trend, saw that this could be great content for a streaming service that they want to really push. They needed content, and this is why we got it. Because they heard us and they went over them and they told Warner Brothers, the heads of Warner Brothers, told me, Emmerich, to give Zack a call to see what to do on releasing this thing or putting this together. Like, what's going on with this, right? Where can we make money off of this thing? So that's why TNT, there are marketing pushes, and it's just marketing push. They're really trying to push the Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, of course, they're going to say stuff like that, which is awesome. I like it when they actually try to push it and not just try to throw it aside. Like Warner Brothers, before when it was like, HBO Max had a YouTube channel and Warner Brothers had a YouTube channel. HBO Max put out the Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer. Warner Brothers didn't even bother doing that. So at that time, that was kind of like really, and even now, they keep calling it Justice League Director's Cut. HBO Max calls it Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, there is some kind of inner power play here that's going on within the system that hopefully will change. And I think it will ultimately change once Zack Snyder's Justice League is a true 100% true, 150, 200% ultimate success. Then the conversation changes to, well, how do we make more money off of this? Let's override these 2 wackos who are trying to push this thing away and get money in our pockets. So yeah, definitely hope that kind of clears that up a little bit. Mike G, Tom Selleck for the Dark Knight Returns Batman. He's perfect. Yeah, he's a pretty big guy and what a chin. So yeah, I could definitely see that. Wondering if there's a fan art somewhere floating around with Tom Selleck as Dark Knight Returns Batman. He's huge. I mean, he's tall. So yeah, I never thought about that, but that's an interesting fan cast. Kyle Ray, Chris, big fan. I appreciate your positivity in the movement. Wanting your thoughts on the evolution of the bat suit. The cowl and suit for Justice League are very different from BVS. I know in movies you will have slight alterations from movie to movie. Example being how Superman's suit has changed slightly from each movie, the buckle. Do you think we can just chalk it up to Zack, the designers want to make changes, or there'll be acknowledgement in JL that the suit has changed, as in Bruce and Alfred are making upgrades? There could be 2. There could be that Bruce and Alfred making upgrades, absolutely, especially the tech suit. But in terms of the other one, I don't know. Although in the Superman suit, I think they even explained that they just made alterations to it. Nothing that's explained within the context of film, but that they just, Michael Wilkinson and Zack just figured, we could do something better here and there. And so if it's minor changes, it'll probably not be explained at all. Hardboiled Entertainment, Eric Blake. Hey, Chris, here's something interesting. Way back, Quentin Tarantino noted that he'd be ready to go ready to do a Luke Cage film for Marvel. The reason he ultimately didn't is interesting. He envisioned a Lawrence Fishburne in the role, but several comic fans respond that it should be Wesley Snipes because of the bod. In other words, Quinton noted he ended up feeling that when a comic fandom envisions some specific standards, in their mind, they'll be very unlikely to accept anything different. Of course, all the arguments over Zack Snyder's takes on Superman and Batman kind of prove his point, but our community kind of indicates that enough people are more open to fresh takes that preserve the point of the character. So dare we hope Quinton may get into a comic book game after all. What characters would you most want him to tackle? I don't know if he would come into the comic book game. I thought... Was they going to say that the next film will be his last? So I don't even know if he's going to do any more, but you never know. They always say, like, I'm retiring from making movies, but they'll make the next one. But, yeah, I don't know. I think if he had wanted to do Luke Cage at one point in time, maybe he can do another Luke Cage now and choose another black actor. But, yeah, definitely would be interesting and kind of I'm kind of want to see a comic book movie from Quentin Tarantino. I don't know who it would be, but I would love to see him tackle something. Here's a question. Talking about the films on his docket, Zack has mentioned a war film, Last Photograph, an American Revolution film with a 300 kind of mood, a sci-fi he hasn't given much, if any details on, a Western. So what's a film genre that he's not talked about tackling that you'd like him to? Personally, I get a real kick about seeing it doing a musical or maybe a vampire gothic romance. I don't know. I mean, we could joke around and say, hey, what about romantic comedy? But he's not going to do, I don't know if he's going to do that. But definitely, I would say I would love to see the American Revolution film with a 300 kind of moon, and also the Western that he mentioned that I forgot what it was called, Blood something. But yeah, it was a what they called a unfilmable story. So that would probably be along the lines of what type of movie he would probably want to make. So, yeah. Cooper Moser. It feels like Warner Bros. Made Jim Lee put on those tweets due to what Hamada said about Zack Snyder's Justice League to try and calm the fandom. I could agree to that. That might probably, more and more I look at it, it seems to be that way. He in terms of just a PR statement to say, hey, let's get all together. Let's get excited for DC, guys. Let's get excited, just like DC fandom. Mr. Everest, thank you for the shout out. John being a diva as usual. Thanks, Mr. Next man for joining the member. Yeah, check out his channel, Real Anarchy, Real Emotion Podcast. Like I said, the last video about the 17-minute mark. Hilarious. Hilarious. Hi, Chris. Feeling disappointed with the infighting. Like, we really need that right now. Something's going to pop, like you said, hopefully for the good for us fans. Makes sense to still have Geoff Johns around for the upcoming Green Lantern. He has written the best stories for them, sadly, but never. I'm pretty stoked, but never. I'm pretty stoked that HBO Max is coming to Brazil, so hopefully not so far off a deal for the UK. Keep safe during the pandemic. God bless you, my friend. Well, thank you so much, George. Yeah, it is kind of sad and disappointing to see. There's still some infighting and things like that, but never say never. I mean, things could change, and hopefully the positives outweigh the negatives, and that's how I want to look at it. Look at it half glass full, not half glass empty. So it's like, and yeah, you're right. Geoff Johns does make some incredible stories. I think as a writer, he shines more than actually being part of the movie production part. So there's definitely something said about that. But yeah, HBO Max, if it's coming to Brazil later next year, I would say they would try to concentrate on the United Kingdom a little bit more, since they got Warner Brothers over there. I mean, they have a studio right there at Leavesden. And so I would probably expect that they would try to get that going, much faster. Lee Fusion, oh my God, yes, God of War. Snyder would do an amazing job. Hey, Chris, shout out to Snack Snyder. I will play Kratos. I'm 6'6", size 14 feet, and already bald and can scream. Lee's Robinson for Kratos. What if he's watching? He'll probably see that. But yeah, Kratos. Is it Kratos or Kratos? I think it's Kratos. And I played it, so it's kind of funny. I can't spot, but I haven't played it in a long time. Nicholas Perdikas. Hello, Chris. Why Zack Snyder tells the Snyder Cut is the last film in DCEU. Continue the Snyderverse. He didn't say that's the last film. He said that that's the like right now he has no plans to do anything else. But of course, it all depends on the success of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So let's just, right now that's the next one up. Let's just really, really support that right now. That's all I can say. Belle Reeve Mendez. Chris, I appreciate you watching some of my videos. I didn't expect that at all. Thank you. I've been watching you since 2017. You're one of my favorite YouTubers. That means a lot. Oh, thank you, Belle Reeve. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Check out her channel. She does some reaction videos, DC stuff. So, yeah, if you guys like some DC stuff, she is also doing some content as well. Nathaniel Gutaman. Oh, I think I've read this one yesterday. So I think that was the last one for today. All right. Well, that's awesome. That freshens me up for the weekend that is coming. Like I said, I do have Wonder Woman 1854, an editorial coming out this weekend. I've written it up today and going to start putting it together for this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. And in any case, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of DC content and movie shows and video games, please click the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time. Have a great weekend.